'cause it's so big tafel.
The makers of Epic Pure Sunflower Oil, Purine and Pret Cooking Fat, Yum Yum Peanut Butter, Maple Margarine, and Niblets Cheese Twists present the Epic Casebook. In which Inspector Carr investigates.
Crime and criminology feature a great deal in the course of party conversation. I really believe that one of the main reasons for my reluctance to accept invitations to cocktail parties and the like, and round about this time of the year they are difficult to refuse, unless one wants to create an impression of being a kind of Scrooge or insensitive to the impending festive season, is the fear that someone will buttonhole me in a corner and give me his or her opinion on how the ever-increasing crime wave should be combated. Or, as happened to me last week, someone will tell me why they sympathize with one class of criminal and abominate the other. I said someone, but in fact, at this gathering of employees of a large business firm, I was surrounded by at least a dozen mature and intelligent men and women, all of whom declared that no punishment was too harsh for the drug pusher, or the person who robs private dwellings and commits violence in the process. But, and this is the point I'm coming to, all expressed a sneaking admiration for those who rob banks. One gushing female said, "But people who rob banks aren't committing any crime. The public doesn't suffer." Another, who should have known better, since it was his invitation I accepted, said, and I quote, "After all, your modern bank robber is merely an up-to-date version of those romantic, colourful characters on horseback, the highwaymen, who held up coaches, robbed all the men, and gallantly kissed the hands of the female passengers." Fiddlesticks. I was able to give them figures as to the number of innocent, hard-working employees who've been killed or injured for life, both here in South Africa as well as Britain, by these so-called modern highwaymen. A psychologist friend of mine says that the sneaking regard for the bank robber is because so many customers may have been refused an overdraft, or that the public sees the bank as a kind of unnecessary appendage to modern life. Well, a man lost his life when he tried to resist the gangsters. Let me tell you about it. I've called my story The Final Interest. The hold-up took place at this time of the year, when banks were particularly busy receiving deposits from shops and departmental stores as a result of the heavy Christmas buying. I was just beginning to think in terms of lunch when the news was telephoned. Carr?
Operations here, sir.
Yes, Ops.
Emergency flash from the National and Provincial Bank, Dover Street. The robbery squad's gone into action, sir, but it's also your province now. One of the employees has been shot dead.
Oh, dear. Swine would choose a time like this. All right, order a car, please. Dover Street is in the heart of London's fashionable West End. A quiet, discreet thoroughfare housing luxury apartments, small but highly exclusive hairdressing and fashion establishments, a few offices, and the National and Provincial Bank. By the time I got to the scene, the place was surrounded by excited sightseers and police cars.
All right there, make way.
Anybody'd think we're making a film and that at any moment Humphrey Bogart's likely to appear.
Stand back there.
Right, come on, we got to get back there.
The ambulance will be in a moment, sir.
Is he a cashier?
Devil. No, sir, the manager.
Oh.
Move over there. Constable, clear this spot. Clear. We carried the body through into his office, sir. This is Mr. Hilston, the assistant manager.
In the middle of the day, I don't know what this country's coming to. Nothing's safe anymore. Neither property nor human life.
Terrifying experience for you, Mr. Hilston. My name's Carr, Chief Inspector Carr. I take it that none of your employees have left the building since the robbery?
They're all here, including poor Bob Rowley. Someone's got to tell his wife. Poor boy. It's a brave, stupid, wonderful thing to do.
Has anyone looked at Mr. Rowley? Sure he's dead.
One of the bank customers is with the body now, sir. He's a Dr. Morris. He said he'd wait until the ambulance arrived. Shot right through the heart, apparently.
I see. Well, what happened? Don't leave anything out.
Well, Miss Mitchell can tell you best. Miss Mitchell, come forward, please.
Yes, Mr. Helston.
It was Miss Mitchell who was receiving the money when it all happened.
It's a terrifying experience for you, Miss Mitchell. Now, would you please tell me exactly what happened, leaving nothing out?
But it was all over in a minute. I mean,
I'm sorry,
just...
Miss Mitchell. I assume you were handling a large sum of money if you say it was all over in a minute.
Well, yes. The rush really hadn't started. Lunchtime is our busiest.
What time was it exactly?
Oh, about 12:15.
Go on, please.
Well, that gentleman over there, he's from Bon Marché in Oxford Street.
Carry on.
Well, he came in. Morning, Mr. Carson.
Morning, Miss Mitchell. I think I'll find all correct. Slips have been made out. £10,426 here. I believe our finance manager spoke to Mr. Helson about it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of 1,000, and another of 426. I'll sign for the bundles. You can't expect me to count them all this time of the year.
Yeah, well, if it's wrong, you'll soon let me know, won't you? I'll see you then.
What? This is a hold-up. Shut up. Sit down on the floor, everyone. And don't move a muscle unless you want to put it through your belly. You too, I said sit down. On the floor with your hands on your head. That's right, on your head, I said. That's better. Okay, Joe, grab it.
You'll not get away with this.
If you want to spend Christmas with your family, Daddy-O, shut up. Now, what are you doing, miss? Your hands on your head, I said. Try and press an alarm bell, you die.
Oh, Helston, you got...
Stay where you are. Don't move.
No, you wouldn't dare use that gun.
Hurry it up, Joe.
Help! Police! Help! Help! Oh, what's he doing?
Press the alarm bell quickly. Oh, really? Better not try to move. We'll get a doctor to you.
This gentleman here's the doctor, sir.
I see. Did anyone see the getaway car?
Yes, sir, I did. As soon as I heard the shots, I sensed what was happening. I saw a car drive over the red light and go down Charles Street at a great speed. I took the number down, but I don't suppose it'll be much use.
I'm afraid not. Short have been stolen. I take it you've alerted the number and description of the car?
Yes, sir.
Well, there were two of them, were there? A man the killer called Joe.
Yes, there were. Neither of them masked.
That's why we weren't suspicious.
Oh, you can give me a description of them?
There's not a member of the staff that couldn't. Although, as Miss Mitchell said, it only took a minute. I'll never forget the scene as long as I live.
But try and describe the men for me, Miss Mitchell.
Well, the man with the gun had a huge overcoat and a scarf. He wore glasses and a big moustache and beard. The other was clean-shaven.
And a hat. The bearded man wore a hat.
Yes.
That accounts for them not wearing a mask or shoving nylon stockings over their faces. Oh, was he tall, short, heavily built, thin?
Oh, he was heavily built. Quite a fat man.
They usually are, miss, when they're disguised like that. Underneath the overcoat, lots and lots of padding. Well, what about this fellow they called Joe?
Well, he came into the bank just as the man with the gun said, "Don't move."
Obviously his signal. Probably waited just outside the door as a lookout. Is there anything else taken?
Isn't that enough, Inspector? Over £10,000.
Fair enough. Sergeant, please stay here until the ambulance arrives. You'd better get through to the robbery squad. You'll need more assistance. I want separate statements taken from every member of the staff, from the doctor, and somebody better notify the manager's family.
Very good, sir.
Can I have a word with you, Mr. Helston?
By all means, come through to my office, will you?
Thank you.
Poor Bob, really. He had just 3 more years to go before his retirement. He's talking about buying a small guest house in Torquay. Do come in.
Now, Mr. Helston, in moments of stress, people's vision of things becomes distorted. Now, I had a feeling that Miss Mitchell might have exaggerated because of the drama of the situation. All your staff have just gone through an experience that, well, they must have seen depicted in gangster films a dozen of times. The man he called Joe was clean-shaven, was he not?
Yes, he was.
It's an incredible attitude of arrogance. Now, I want you to describe him for me as minutely as you can.
Well, it's difficult. We were all so fear-stricken. We were all looking at the man with the gun.
Yes, I realize that. That's why the second man isn't so heavily disguised. Everyone looks at the man with the gun, wondering when he's going to shoot or if he might pull the trigger accidentally.
Yes, of course.
But you had your attention diverted when the unfortunate Mr. Rowley, not knowing what was going on, emerged from his office and called you. Now, didn't you get a clear mental picture of what the man, the gunman, called Joe?
Yes, I did, but he was so nondescript. He was wearing an overcoat, he had a hat and a muffler. Well, this is one of the coldest Decembers we've had in years.
But his face, he didn't look puffed. There was no sense of... Well, what I'm trying to say, Mr. Helston, is that they frequently put cotton wool between their gums and their cheeks. Be surprised how it alters their entire face. This Joe never spoke,
No, he didn't.
You're sure about that?
Yes, I'm positive. I can see some more policemen have arrived. Oh, no, wait a minute. No, I think they're the ambulance men.
Well, I'll have a quick word with the doctor, and then I'll get back to the yard. Carr?
Operations here, Inspector.
Yes, Ops.
They found the car, sir. False number plates, of course. It belongs to a Mr. Reese in Eastmore Mews in Knightsbridge. It was found abandoned in Lambeth.
They took a risk going as far as that. All right, Ops, thank you. Oh, I'd better have a word with the boss boy of the robbery squad. It was obvious that the hold-up was the work of highly skilled and efficient criminals. It called for split-second timing, and that meant close conference with the robbery squad. Armed with photographs of all the known thugs in the bank robbery business, I returned to Mr. Helston's office. I'm sorry to put you to all this trouble, Mr. Helston, but even though the two gangsters were disguised, something about them, the shape of their eyes, the nose, the nostrils, anything might strike a chord of memory.
Well, those I've seen so far have no resemblance at all, I'm afraid.
Now, what about this one? His name's Joe Baggett, released from jail 6 months ago. Specializes in bank hold-ups, height 6'2", brown hair.
No. That lets him out straight away. The man called Joe couldn't have been more than 5'7" or 8.
Oh, as you say, that lets him out. What about this?
Oh, no, I'm afraid not.
Well, you've looked at 48 photographs.
Yes.
The one thing we do know is that the bank was robbed at exactly 10 minutes past 12. It's going to be a hard, foot-slogging task finding out where all these characters were at that time. What beats me is why a huge departmental store should want to deposit so much money in the middle of the day. Isn't that unusual?
Well, it's security. Their finance manager rang through to say that they were depositing the money rather than keep it in their own safe over the weekend. They're spreading the risk, so to speak. It's been an unusually busy week of Christmas shopping, you know.
So you knew the money was coming?
Oh, yes. I warned our cashiers to accept the money in bundles and not to bother to count them. I thought we'd take that risk. No, I'm not worried about the money. It's what happened to poor Bob Rowley.
Yes, indeed. No doubt the insurance company will make good the loss of the money, but nothing can bring your manager back to life. I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to catch those gangsters. I stake my life on that. On that confident note, I left the Dover Street branch of the National and Provincial Bank and returned to my office. Within seconds, every criminal investigation department throughout the country was alerted and their assistance sought. It could have been an outside job. On the other hand... Sergeant,
Sir?
Here's a list of the names and addresses of the 3 cashiers and the assistant bank manager. I want you to put on plain clothes and spend some time in each area. I want you to find out everything you can about them.
You think it's an inside job, sir?
Well, not an inside job exactly, Sergeant, but... Well, let's say we're leaving no stone unturned.
Very good, sir.
Carr, just a minute, Sergeant.
Operations here, Inspector.
Yes, Ops. What have you got for me?
No joy, sir. No fingerprints. The boffins say that the stolen card had been carefully wiped.
I might have expected that. All right, thanks. Order a car. I'm going round to Bon Marché to see the finance manager. The term manager was a misnomer, as I realized as soon as I stepped up to the appropriate office door, which had on it the legend, Harriet Selborne, Finance. Mrs. Selborne proved to be a rather large, somewhat overpowering lady in her middle 50s.
I knew this would happen. I knew it. For 3 years, I've been agitating for a new security system.
New security system, Mrs. Selborne?
Yes. I have recommended to my board of directors that all cash still in the store after the bank's close should be deposited with one of those security organizations. And as for sending Carsons through the streets carrying all that money in a bag, ridiculous.
But wasn't that on your instructions, Mrs. Selborne?
Yes, although I was very much against it. You see, with modern methods of accounting, we know the cash float was issued every 2 hours. Mr. Ponsonby, our chairman, put the new system into operation as from this morning because, well, you see what the store is like on Christmas Eve. I personally telephoned the assistant manager of the bank to warn him to expect this money.
When did you do that?
About 11 o'clock this morning.
Thank you. Well, what happened until this new system was put into operation?
Well, we kept the money here in the safes, and the money was sent over when we felt it was necessary. But our chairman pointed out that we were losing interest of 5% by holding the money here, whereas if we deposited it with the banks on call, if you know what the term means, Inspector.
I do.
It means a saving of quite a few £1,000s a year, but a most hazardous procedure. From now on, we shall send the money with an escort. I've notified the insurance company, and they're insisting on it.
Your messenger wasn't waylaid in the street. It was a bank hold-up. How reliable is your Mr. Carsons?
Oh, if you think he was hand in glove with the bank robbers, you're very much mistaken. He's been with the Bon Marché for many years, and I am convinced of his complete honesty and loyalty to this company.
Thank you. Well, I've taken possession of a copy of the paying-in slip. I see there was something like £10,000 in £5 notes. Did you keep a record of the numbers?
Good heavens, no. This isn't a bank, Inspector Carr. These are monies that have been handed over to our salesmen. They collect it, send it on our overhead wires to the cash department, and as I say, when it reaches £10,000, the money's ready to be deposited at the bank.
Thank you. I assume you're fully insured?
Of course. It's a moot point as to who owned the money. We or the bank.
Well, I think you'll find in law that you will have to claim if the money's not recovered. I see that the cashier didn't sign the paying-in slip. It happened while she was in the process of so doing. But frankly, Mr. Selborne, that isn't my concern. I'm after the killers. I'm hoping that I might be able to trace them through the money. Carr?
Operations here, Inspector. All the county CIDs have been through, sir. The possible suspects are all in the clear. It looks as though the job was done by one of the London gangs.
I'm convinced of it. It was just a routine check, Ops. They must have kept a check on Bon Marché and on the bank. Any signs of unusual spending?
Oh, not so far, sir. We've just got a report through on Hellstone, sir. He lives at Dorking. Married, got 3 children. He's been with the bank for 22 years.
What about the 3 cashiers?
Oh, nothing's come through yet.
Well, there must be a link between a bank employee and the killers. I'm convinced of it. I want to know all about them.
Right you are, sir.
I've got Sergeant Blake working on it, too. Oh, by the way, what time was the car stolen?
Just a minute, sir. I've got it here somewhere. Yes, 6 o'clock the previous night. They gave them plenty of time to change the number plate, sir.
Yes, indeed. Okay, Ops, keep working at it. I think I'd better spend an hour or 2 at the bank. Mr. Helston, I'm convinced that someone connected with this bank is an accomplice of the killers.
I resent that, sir. Every employee of this bank is thoroughly vetted and of unimpeachable character.
Nevertheless, skilled professional thugs don't go hanging around banks unless they know what they're waiting for. There was no attempt to blow up your safes or rob your tills. As soon as that man walked into this bank and commenced to hand the money over to your cashier, the thugs revealed themselves. Now, you were telephoned at 11 o'clock. Until that moment, you had no warning that a large sum of money was going to be deposited at all.
I had no idea, and I have no acquaintances who are likely to be murderers and thieves.
You mustn't take this personally, Mr. Helston. I have to suspect everyone until I find the culprits. You obviously admired and respected your manager. Don't you want his killers to be punished?
Yes, of course I do.
Now, did you make any outside telephone calls between the hours of 10 o'clock and noon?
Yes, I did. But I didn't telephone anyone to say that there's going to be a large amount of money deposited, if that's what you're implying.
I'm not implying anything. I'm questioning. But you must admit that it's very strange that you received first information of the money at 11 o'clock, and 1 hour later your bank's held up. You informed the cashiers. Who?
Well, I just went along and I said to the 3 cashiers, there was nobody in the bank at the time, until this new system, the day before Christmas, is very slack for us. Oh, by the way, Summers, Talbot, yes, Miss Mitchell, Bon Marché will be sending over quite a considerable amount of money. Their finance manager telephoned it's to be placed on call.
Just before Christmas, sir?
Well, it's because it's just before the Christmas holidays, yes. They don't want their money to lie idle. No wonder that Bon Marché showed such a fine balance sheet last year. They certainly watched the pennies. They're sending over their chief messenger, Carson's. Should be here before lunch.
I see. Was that the first indication anyone in the bank, other than yourself, had about this money?
Yes.
Supposing your cashiers wanted to make a telephone call, what would be the procedure?
It's a strict bank rule that no employee makes an outside telephone call without first asking for permission from either the manager or myself. Now, I'm sure that neither Summers nor Talbot nor Rosalind Mitchell made any telephone calls between the hours of... Well, made any at all, as a matter of fact. Oh, just a minute. Now you come to mention it. I had meant to reprimand her, but, well, you know, being Christmas...
Her?
Miss Mitchell. Yes, I'll get her in for you. Miss Mitchell, will you come through here, please?
Right, Mr. Helston.
Does that mean that Miss Mitchell did use the telephone?
Yes, she used the sub-accountant's telephone.
You wanted me, sir?
Yes, Miss Mitchell. At about 11:10 this morning, I saw you walk to the sub-accountant's desk and use the outside telephone while Mr. Farmer was out of the office.
Yes, I did.
Now, you know it's a strict rule that has to be enforced because of our customers' security in confidential matters.
I know what you're going to say, Mr. Helston, but Mr. Rowley gave me permission.
The manager? When?
When I got in this morning, sir. There was no one here except the manager and Tompkins, the commissionaire.
Oh, good morning, Miss Mitchell.
Morning, sir.
Oh, the traffic is appalling this morning. This must be one of the coldest Christmas Eves I can remember.
Oh, I don't mind the cold, sir, so long as there's a bit of sun.
Well, I prefer the snow. Well, to work. I'm looking forward to visiting my daughter and the grandchildren.
It must be sad for those homes where there are no little children, with their eager little faces as they unwrap their Christmas presents.
Oh, that reminds me, sir. May I make an external call this morning? My mother's still at St. George's Hospital, and they said I could telephone and find out when she can be fetched. She's coming home for Christmas.
Why, yes, certainly, Miss Mitchell. Was Tompkins nearby when you sought permission?
No. No, he was taking all the letters out of the box. Look, I'm not lying. What's wrong? You're both looking at me. Oh, why don't you ring the hospital and ask
You
them?
could have rung the hospital and asked...
Just a minute, Mr. Helston. No, I'm sorry, Miss Mitchell. You must have realized that we think someone passed information to the gangsters.
Information? But
That's all right. I'm sorry I've troubled you all. I don't think I'll need to make any more inquiries at the bank. Mr. Ponsonby, I'm the chief investigating officer inquiring into the murder and robbery at the National and Provincial Bank.
Oh, it's a terrible business. I feel almost as though I were to blame. You see,
You instigated the sending of the money to be placed on call.
Well, yes, I raised the question at our directors' meeting 2 days ago. I thought it was foolish to keep all that money over Christmas. My directors agreed, and I passed on instructions yesterday to Mrs. Selborne.
And Mrs. Selborne passed on the information to the gangsters.
What on earth are you saying?
May I use your telephone, sir?
Oh, you surely don't mean that Mrs... Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, please do use the phone. That one's on a direct outside line there.
Thank you.
Scotland Yard operations.
Carr here, Ops. Now, listen. Do you mind going out of your office, Mr. Ponsonby? I'm sorry if I'm over-suspicious.
Oh, yes, as you wish.
Thank you. Still there, Ops?
Yes, Inspector.
The one person I didn't check on and should have done, as being the most obvious, is the financial manager. She's really a manageress. I want one of our best men to tail her. I want her telephone at home monitored. It's a Mrs. Selborne. I want to know everything about her because my antenna tell me she's going to lead us to the killers. Working on the assumption, which was almost a certainty, that the gangsters had been tipped off about the money, this line of reasoning led me to the inescapable conclusion that Harriet Selborne was hand in glove with the criminals. She was watched, night and day, her telephone line monitored, and then, at long last...
I told you not to ring me, you fool.
Who knows about us? Look, it's all very well for you, but what am I going to do over Christmas? Stick around in this lousy cottage all by myself? Why can't I go and mix with the boys?
Because you've got a record, that's why. Because one of the racetrack detectives might remember seeing us together. Now, just lie low for a week.
Why don't you come down to Maidenhead? I'm lonely. Look, it's Christmas. Nobody would think that a fancy-spoken lady like you would have anything to do with it.
And so he went on talking, which was music to my ears, since I knew that it was of sufficient duration for the department to trace the call and arrest him.
What's going to happen now, sir?
What do you mean, Sergeant?
Well, it was a bit of luck that this fellow he called Joe was in the bungalow when our men surrounded the place, particularly when all the money was there.
Well, if you're asking me whether Harold Eastley will be charged with murder as well as Joe Copley, who did the shooting, well, the answer's yes. Well, you know the law as well as I do.
No, sir. I don't mean that, sir. I mean Mrs. Selborne. Will she be charged with murder and robbery, too?
No, Sergeant. No, she wasn't at the scene of the crime. No one will be able to prove that she was aware that her accomplices were carrying firearms. No, we'll just pin an accomplice to robbery on her, but that'll put her away for a year or two.
Excuse me asking, sir, but I read your report to the AC.
Yeah?
I still don't see why you were so sure that she was involved.
Well, it had to be her who tipped off the gangsters. If you remember... Well, we know that it was a highly skilled professional job, calling for split-second timing. We know that the car was stolen the day before the robbery. At that time, no one knew of the new system of depositing money other than the board of directors and the finance manageress. On the day she was told, the gangsters started planning by stealing the car to make their getaway. All of them spent a deservedly miserable Christmas in a prison cell awaiting trial.
The Epic Casebook was produced by Michael Silver for the makers of Epic Pure Sunflower Oil, Maypole Margarine, Yum Yum Peanut Butter, and Niblets Cheese Twists, with Hugh Ross as Inspector Carr. Listen again next Thursday night at 9:30 to another exciting story from our... Epic Casebook.